All right, today we're diving into an absolutely epic ancient quest for truth. We're going to follow the very first steps of a young seeker on a journey that would eventually span a continent and really reveal some of the deepest secrets of wisdom. It's a story that starts not with a choice, but with a destiny.
So how does a great journey really begin? I mean, we've all thought about it, right? Does it start with that first step? Or some big, brave decision? Or maybe it begins way before that, like at the moment you're born, with a destiny that's already taking shape. For the hero of our story today, it was definitely the last one.
So our story kicks off with the birth of a young seeker named Sudhana, and his arrival into the world was, well, anything but ordinary. It was marked by all these signs and wonders that just screamed that he was headed for an extraordinary future. He was born in the bustling city of Fucheng, and his name, Sudhana, literally translates to good fortune. And this wasn't just wishful thinking on his parents' part. Nope, it was a name he earned because of the absolutely incredible things that happened the moment he was born.
And get this, these weren't just vague omens. The miracles were incredibly specific. First, these magnificent 7-jeweled pavilions, we're talking symbols of royalty and spiritual power, just spontaneously appeared inside his house. Then, from the ground beneath them, 7 massive treasures just emerged from the earth. And to top it all off, 500 treasure vessels materialized, instantly filling up with priceless perfumes, fine clothes, and precious gems. Right from his very first breath, the universe was basically putting up a giant neon sign saying, "This kid is special."
Okay, so with a beginning like that, you just know an ordinary life was never in the cards. And that brings us to the moment our young hero gets his call to adventure. And let me tell you, this call comes from a truly great teacher. A being named Manjushri, who happens to be the bodhisattva of supreme wisdom, shows up in Sudhana's city. Now, a bodhisattva is an enlightened being who chooses to stick around to help everyone else reach enlightenment too. So Manjushri, being the embodiment of wisdom, had this presence that was like a magnet, drawing this huge crowd from all over, from all different realms.
And what a crowd it was. We're talking celestial beings like devas, think of them as gods, and dragons, all these mythical nature spirits called yakshas, plus hundreds and hundreds of regular people, men, women, and kids, all just eager to soak up his wisdom. And right there in the mix, among the hundreds of young people in attendance, was our hero, Sudhana. Now, while most people might have been happy just to listen, Sudhana had this fire inside him. He wasn't just a passive observer, he was a seeker. He actually walked right up to this great teacher and started asking these incredibly deep questions, starting with the most basic one. How do you even begin to learn this path? And he didn't stop there. He didn't just want to know what to learn, he wanted to know how to do it. How does someone actually put all these practices into action? His questions just showed this intense desire to get started on the path to enlightenment, not just for himself, but for everyone.
Then he praised Manjushri with this incredible, humble, and beautiful language. He says, "Like a lamp, you show me the path. You who are beyond all worlds, show me the gate to liberation." He's basically saying, "I'm ready. Show me the way."
Manjushri, seeing Sudhana's pure heart and total earnestness, was seriously impressed. He tells him, "Excellent, excellent," and then he gives him the first, and honestly the most important piece of advice for his whole journey. To find supreme wisdom, you have to seek out true spiritual teachers. And whatever you do, don't get tired of doing it. The path wasn't going to start with a book, but with a search for people.
And with that one simple, direct instruction, Sudhana's epic quest for wisdom is officially on. This is where the adventure truly begins.
The instruction was crystal clear. No riddles, no vague clues. Just go south, find the mountain called Myriad Peaks. Your first teacher will be there. This is that moment you see in every great story, right? The hero crossing the threshold, accepting the mission, and heading out into the great unknown.
So his first teacher's name was Dehayuna, and he would be the first of many, many Kalyana Mitra that Sudhana was going to meet. Now this term is super important. It means a virtuous or spiritual friend. See, it's not just a teacher in the academic sense, but a wise guide who actually helps you along your path. Sudhana's whole journey was going to be a pilgrimage to meet a whole series of these guides.
But finding this first teacher, it was a test right from the get-go. Sudhana gets to this mountain and just starts searching. And for 7 straight days, he searches tirelessly, combing the peaks, driven by this one single goal.
Finally, on that 7th day, all this hard work pays off. He spots Degayuna, just walking peacefully on a nearby ridge.
But here's the thing Manjushri hinted at. This quest isn't about finding one single all-knowing guru. Finding that first guide, that's just the beginning of this incredible chain of wisdom that's going to stretch all across the land.
So Sudana goes up, bows, asks his questions, and Degayuna reveals his own special area of expertise. It's this one specific, powerful meditation that allows him to see all the Buddhas of the universe. And right here, the whole pattern for the rest of the journey gets set. Each teacher is going to offer one unique, specialized piece of the giant puzzle of enlightenment. And then, and this is so crucial, Degayuna acknowledges his own limits. He basically says, look, I can only teach you this much. And then he sends Sudana onward. He points him to the next link in the chain of wisdom. Another teacher, further south, named Meghashri.
So Sudana follows the directions and travels south again. He finds Meghashri, and this teacher tells him that for 12 years, his one and only focus of meditation has been the vast, deep ocean. And out of that incredible dedication came a pretty mind-blowing vision. Meghashri described seeing this gigantic, jewel-covered lotus just rise up out of the sea, and sitting on it was a Buddha whose body was so huge it filled all of existence. And this Buddha taught him something called the Universal Eye Dharma. I mean, what an absolutely stunning, powerful image of enlightenment.
And you guessed it, the pattern repeats itself. After sharing his wisdom, Meghashri points Sudana to the next guide. Each teacher is a stepping stone, and this next one, well, he takes things to a whole new level of spectacular.
When Sudana finds the third teacher, Supratisthita, the sight is it's absolutely breathtaking. He's on the ground. The man is levitating in midair, surrounded by countless celestial beings. You've got gods scattering heavenly flowers, dragons creating clouds of fragrant incense. It's this scene of incredible power, showing that wisdom can pop up in the most extraordinary places.
Supratisthita explains his unique skill, something called unimpeded liberation. It basically means he can travel anywhere in the universe with his consciousness to learn directly from the Buddhas. And then, playing his part as the next link in the chain, he gives Sudana his new destination. Go south, to the land of Darida, and find the teacher Megha. This chain of wisdom seems like it could go on forever, and Sudana's journey has really only just begun.
So, we've only seen the first few steps of this incredible pilgrimage for truth. Sudana was sent from one master to the next, and each one held a single, unique piece of wisdom. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? If you were on your own quest for knowledge, would you look for one person with all the answers, or would you, like Sudana, seek out a whole chain of different guides? Who would be your first stop?